Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Is James O'Brien having a breakdown? Well, from his latest ramblings, it would appear that he is on the verge of a mental breakdown. This is what happens when James O'Brien has been working too long on LBC. He's working too long on LBC has turned his brain into mush. He's losing his marbles. He's completely lost it. I mean, let's go through a few examples, shall we, of his madness. He's descending into madness. Well, one, that he still hasn't got over the fact that we voted to leave the EU. He's still moaning about the people voted to leave the EU. He still hasn't got over that. He's still in mourning, like a lot of these Remainers who love the EU so much. He's still in mourning about that, and also he was part of the left-wing media plot to bring down Boris Johnson, which he was part of, with all the rest of the left-wing media, especially the left-wing journalists, the likes of Kay Burley and Beth Rigby and all the rest of them. And also, let's remember also, he believed every word of that fantasist Carl Beech. He believed every word he said. He was convinced there was a VIP paedophile ring operating in Westminster, which turned out to be false. Yes, I'm afraid it looks like that O'Brien is having an episode. He's on the verge of having an episode. And if I was LBC, I would think about, well, sacking him. After all, they have got rid of Carol Vorderman. So why can't they get rid of O'Brien? Well, I'll tell you why. They won't get rid of sack O'Brien, because he's a ratings winner. Lots of people tune in to listen to him on a morning. I'm glad I don't. Well, actually, I'm glad I don't listen to LBC because it's all a bunch of lefties that's on there. They seem to higher lefties than anybody else. I mean, we all know what happened to Nigel Farage, don't we? When he used to have a programme on LBC, they forced him out. Well, it was O'Brien, really, James O'Brien, that made him leave. And he's also saying, I believe he's been involved in an altercation with Nigel Farage a few weeks back when he was on LBC. I believe he tried to wanted a fight with Nigel Farage. I mean, it looks like that James O'Brien has lost the plot, and he's finally lost it. What to do with him when he's going like this? Well, I think he ought to be the men in white. We ought to send for the men in white coats, and they ought to put him in some kind of lunatic asylum, some mental facility. Oh, I can't say that word. Anyway, that some kind of lunatic asylum, and put him in a padded cell. That's where he belongs. O'Brien belongs. He belongs in a padded cell, just to to cool off for a while, keep him out off the air. But of course, LBC won't do that. They won't do that because they're a bunch of lefties anyway. But yes, I think O'Brien has lost it completely. I mean, some years ago, he was on Channel 5 News when he was on Channel 5 News with Kirsty Young, I believe her name is, and they were saying something about the flag of St George was racist, and when well, he said it was, O'Brien. I haven't forgotten that, O'Brien. I remember watching that, and I remember you saying that, so you might have forgotten it, but I haven't. When he said that the flag of St George was racist and it was offensive to the Muslims. But since then, I think that James O'Brien has, like I've said, has lost it completely. I think he needs to be taken off the air for a while, and somebody else needs to replace him, because his ramblings every day, his ramblings make no sense to anybody. I mean, if anybody dares to disagree with him, he attempts to cut them off. If the caller doesn't share his left-wing views, he tries to cut them off. I wish somebody had cut him off. And you know, he's going quite mad, I'm afraid. He still hasn't got over the fact that we've voted to leave the EU. It's slowly but surely driving him insane. He's lost it completely. Well, anyway, that's the end of this video. Mr. Politics here signing off. And remember, don't believe the lies.